Quiet, that's wonderful, and welcome to the April meeting of the Toronto section of the SMPTE. My name is Paul Briscoe. It's my privilege to be the chair of this section and work with the fine board members we have here putting on these meetings. I would like to tell you a little about our section. For those who haven't seen this before, our current membership stands at 391. Very nice. We hold 10 meetings a year. We do presentations like tonight. We do demos, tutorials, and tours. We offer free food. Nobody charged you for any of the food outside, right? We have rumors that one manager might be charging for food. It's free. Take your money back. We also do every 2 years our boot camp technical seminar. And that's coming up next year, so start thinking about it now. Circle your calendars, like circle the summer before we give you a date. And start telling your bosses how important it is that you go to this. It's going to be very exciting, in fact, because we're at a watershed time in our technology, as you all really know. A couple of years ago it was like, oh, there's 3D. What else is there? It's a different world there today. Next slide, please. These are our new members. Could someone please help me? Fiyetic? Somebody help me with the pronunciation of Marin's name, please. I'd like to get it right. And I'm not sufficiently... Say again? Svietich. Okay. Welcome, Marin. Adam Hanna. Keith Lee, Louie Lee, and Billy Lee. We got a bunch of Lees.
Leeway.
Give that man an extra piece of pizza.
He's great behind that operation.
I know, you know. So, anyway, any of you in the room this evening? Any of our new members with us? I'm so sad. I hope they come next meeting. Welcome to our new members. Next slide, please. Our elections are on, the section elections. You can vote me out. Well, actually, I'm not running again, so you don't even have to exercise your vote for that purpose. But nevertheless, it's important to vote. We have a new chair running, we have a new secretary-treasurer running, we have a number of people running for manager positions. It's really important you vote for two reasons. One is because your vote means something in the election. The other is there's a prize for the section who gets the most people to vote. And I want the Toronto section to be the section with the most people to vote. So even if you go on there and instead, you want to spoil your ballot, you can click other and fill in the blank with bite me or something. It still counts as a vote. Okay.
Fill in your name.
Fill in my name. I'll be back as a manager. No, that couldn't possibly happen. So please go to the website, go to the Toronto link, and vote in the election by the 27th of April. Very important for the section, very important for SMPTE, and very important for you. It's your right to vote. Next slide, please. What comes up next? Oh, the sad slide. So, once in a while I have the sad duty of informing you of the passing of someone in our industry who was a player, if you will. This funny old photo may not mean anything to most of you. Who in the room's a radio hand? Put up your hand. Oh, there you go. So many, many years ago, you might remember Al Vanderberg, or we called him Van. He was a big player in the Toronto ham radio scene. And this is about 1960, I think 7, 8 probably this was taken. And this gentleman here is the subject of tonight's little in memoriam. Who's heard of McCurdy Radio? Right. Paul Hudson, although not the founder of McCurdy Radio, was the showrunner of McCurdy for decades. He ran McCurdy very strongly and for a very long time. In the 80s, he was involved with another guy named Paul Rivnak. Anybody here ever have a Philips or a ViewStar TV converter box? That was these guys. And he was involved with my old company, Leach's. He's best buddy with one of their founders, Bob Leitonen. And he's been in this industry forever. We found out in the spring that Paul was having a little health trouble, and he was expected to be around through the summer. But unfortunately, on Saturday morning, we found out that he had unexpectedly passed. So it's my sad duty to advise you that Paul Hudson of McCurdy Radio, and to those of us who are hams, E3CWA, has passed on. But this wonderful picture, if you know Paul, you can spot him even at age like 22. Clearly, that's Paul Hudson. So, a famous Toronto legend passed on. That's it. Thanks. Next slide. Oh boy, tonight's meeting. Well, I'm one of the organizers, and Andrew Thomas is the other organizer, and he is actually going to host the meeting this evening. This evening's meeting is NAB, and it's very, very exciting. I went to NAB this year, and I'm not going to sit on the panel because I'll have more to say to Steckley, and that's going to be a really bad Did you bring photos? You didn't bring photos, did you?
Yes.
I did bring photos.
Oh, jeez. So anyway, I'll leave you with that.
A few of them don't have drones in them.
Oh, there you go. Well, we've got you covered on this one. Wait till you see what we added to the agenda. I was blown away by NAB. In past years we've gone to NAB and there's been one or two emergent technologies. Oh, 3D, whoop-de-doo. This year, and I don't know if you were watching the slide reel there I was showing, did you notice any trends? 4K, 4K, IP, 4K, IP, 4K, drone, 4K, IP. It's crazy, and things are moving on to IP. 6 and 12 gigabit SDI is happening. HEVC for distribution is happening. JPEG 2K for use in infrastructure. What used to be baseband infrastructure is now looking at using it over SDI and IP. I mean, just craziness down there. So tonight we have 5 people to tell their impressions of NAB. They're going to give a little presentation, and then you can beat them up in a Q&A session. But we're going to kick off with something even more special, because we have somebody in the room with a fetish. Where's Reed? Reed? There's Reed. So, you know, most of the people on the board, when you vote for somebody on the board, you're actually voting for somebody with some funny fetish. You just don't know what it is. With Reed, it's things that are airborne and are not living. So we're talking airplanes and helicopters. So what does he do at NAB? He goes straight to the drone pavilion, and drone pavilion means, well, he'll tell you all about it, literally dozens and dozens of drones. So before we get to you and the panel, we're going to hear from Reed Robertson and his whole story about drones at NAB. So I welcome you all, and I'd like to now throw to my co-organizer and your evening's host, Andrew Thomas. Andrew, take it away.
Hi there. So NAB, obviously, for those that went, was another big show, a little dusty one night. The website is still reporting the pre-registrants of I think it was 103,000. I think there were 1,768 booths. So it was, you know, as big as ever, although I noticed, you know, parts of the halls are a little thinner. So anyway, the format for tonight will be Reed getting up and telling us a little bit about drones and what he saw. And then we've got 5 great panelists who are each going to spend about 5 to 10 minutes kind of summarizing what they saw, and then we're going to throw it out to the audience for questions. So start off with Reed.